Sixth graders, our first math class is you're going to learn about the Motzke math system, okay? And we're going to cover how to use your checkbook register so that you can record transactions and you can keep up track of all the money you're going to be making this year in my class, okay? So let's start with what a checkbook register is. If you open it up, it looks like this on the inside. It's a place where you can record the information for your transactions. All right? So, on the register, you have a place for a number. That refers to the number of check that you're using. That's if you are using a check, then you would write the number for that check. Checks are written with 4 digits. 0001 is check number 1. And it goes all the way to thousands. 9999 is check number 9,999, right? And so on. So, if you are writing a check to me, which we'll do a practice check later, that's where you will write the check number. Okay? Let's go right to the date. Today's date is the 2nd, actually. 9/2. Yeah, put in the date today. 9/2. You're going to do both today.
We're going to make a check.
Yes. 9/2. If you don't have your own, then you should look on with somebody next to you, or just pay attention to the example on the board. Okay? Then, transaction. We're going to start with a starting deposit. This is going to be the starting deposit. In other words, I'm going to be giving you some money today to spend. Yep, starting deposit. And the starting deposit is $25. Now, there are 2 columns here. One says withdrawal, and one says deposit. A withdrawal is a subtracted amount from your balance. A balance is the amount of money that you have. And when you make a withdrawal, you're writing a check, or you're taking money out of the account. Okay? A deposit is money going into the account. That's what you'll get to do when the class account gets to $25 and every multiple of 25. You get to make a deposit for $25 into your personal account. Ethan?
Is there any way to earn more than $5?
Yes, but we'll cover that at a different time. Okay? So, the starting deposit is going to be $25. Alright? So, write 2500. That means $25. And then, in this last column, at least in your booklet, it has the word balance. B-A-L-A-N-C-E, balance. That refers to the amount of money you have. The amount of money you have in your account is called the balance. Okay, your account balance. So, right now you have 0, right? Until you make a deposit, you have 0 money. Now, what we're going to do next is add $25 to your account. So, how would you show adding in a balance sheet? You would write 25 and what operation? Plus or minus? Nate? Plus. And that's exactly what you write on this line. Plus 25. All of you are starting with 0, and we're going to add 25 right now. That's called a deposit. So then you do the math. You use these lines to do the math. 0 plus 25 is 25. And so in the gradient portion of this line, that's where you write $25. Daria.
The next time that, so then that you make the deposit, they're bound to be 25.
The next time, so let's say that you get another deposit, maybe next week we'll already have another deposit. So in the future, your next transaction, hopefully it won't be a check, hopefully it'll be a deposit. And you would write class deposit in the transaction. That's describing why you're writing the check or deposit. This is a class deposit. And then let's say we're going to fast forward 1 week. Okay? So 1 week from today would be 9/9, right? 9-9. That's the date. And that would be another $25 deposit. Now, your balance is 25. Is this plus or minus? Plus. So you put plus 25, and then add the two numbers. Your balance will be 50, hopefully. I say hopefully because you may have to write a check. Now, I'm going to teach you how to fill out a deposit slip. So I'm going to hand these out. And I want you to look at the deposit slip and fill in all the portions that you can figure out on your own. There is a spot for the date, a spot for your name. Now, since this is an official financial document, even though I created them with on my computer, you need to use your official name. So that means your first name and your last name. Because, for some reason, Max, for example, is a pretty popular name in the world. There are more than one Max in the world. So if Max just writes Max on his official document, I might credit it to a different Max, other than Max Torfin. Okay? So that's why you have to use your first and last name whenever you write an official document. Okay? So fill out the date. Fill out your first and last name. Fill out the net deposit amount. $25. That goes in the box next to the $sign. And it says the reason for the deposit. Look at the reason that we wrote down in your book. The starting deposit. So that's what I want all of you to do. Don't write down this one yet, because that's just an example. Something that hasn't happened yet. Only write down the starting deposit. Starting deposit. And then your signature. Your signature has to be in cursive.
Oh, I wrote my real name in cursive.
Do you have to write your
When you write your name should be printed. Okay? When you're writing your signature must be in cursive. Yes. Yep. First and last name in both places. Now, as you're filling that out, I'm going to hand out a sample check. An example check. We're going to fill this out also. It's just going to be a fake check. But it's going to be practice. So this is another official document that I've created. So you have to use your first and last name. Pass them all the way across. Now, when would you have to write a check in my class? What are some things you'd have to write checks for? You know? Do you remember from the home visit letter? Tyler. Okay, during class, right now we're in the middle of class, but if you have to use the restroom, you can go, but you have to fill out an exit fee. That's $5. Cal.
If you get something, if there's anything you can buy with the money.
All right, so those are some rewards. You don't have to buy those, but there are some rewards that you can buy. Absolutely. Nate.
Getting a new sometimes pencil exchange box.
All right, those are $5. Yep. Daria. Okay, a class disruption fee. And those are anywhere from $5 to $10, depending on the severity. Yep, Carson. Yeah, disruption fee. That's what Daria talked about. Yep. So you might have to pay a disruption fee. Bryce. A pollution fee. Yep. For pollution. Missing assignment queue. Those are $10. Yep, you have to write me a check if you get a missing assignment queue. A misbehavior queue. It's double a missing assignment queue, so it's $20.
What if,
Okay, Cole.
what if you don't have sufficient funds to say?
Then you have to pay an additional charge called an overdraft fee.
What about loans?
Here's an overdraft fee. An example of an overdraft fee is if you have $50 in your account, but you decide to buy a free assignment pass. Now, let's say that it's in the second quarter, so the free assignment pass has gone up by $10, because it does go up every quarter. That's called inflation. So it actually costs $60, but you only have $50, and you wrote me a check. Then, because you didn't keep good track of your balance, you thought you had 60, but really you only have 50. And then you get charged an additional amount called an overdraft fee. So now, instead of being minus 10, because you spent more than you have, you'd actually be minus 20 because of the overdraft fee. Okay?
Only get 5.
So then you only get 5 on the next deposit, right? Because negative 20 plus 25 is only positive 5. Right? Carson. A deposit slip, he asked what's the difference between a deposit slip and a check? The deposit slip is the amount of money going into your account. The check is the amount of money coming out of your account to the bank, or to me, or to whoever you're paying. Right. When you earn money, it should go into a bank account, a checking account or a savings account. And you fill out a slip or make note of that transaction in some way called a deposit. When you go, if your parents will show you an example of their bank statement, you will see numbers just like this. You'll see numbers in columns. You'll see a balance column, and you'll see a deposits column, and you'll see a withdrawal amount column. Everything, wherever they spend money, groceries, Target, the gas station, all those types of things. And all that money is kept track of on a statement like this, called a balance statement. Okay? Now, I'm going to get to your questions, but I want to show you what to do with the check first. Okay? So, does everyone have their check?
Yeah.
We're going to record this as check number 1. Now, in this case, since we're just going to write check number 1. That'll be easier for you to keep track of. It's just number 1. Okay? And then your name, first and last name, the date. Then this column says pay to the order of. Pay to the order of. That's whoever is charging you the amount, or whoever you have to pay with this check. In this class, it might be me. Probably will be me. If Mrs. Hammond is in here, you might have to pay a check to Mrs. Hammond. All right? If there's any other teacher, you have to write it out to that teacher. If it's a missing assignment fee in my class, you have to write it out to me. So it's whoever, whatever teacher, whoever is charging you for whatever it is that you're writing the check for, the reason for the check. Okay? I'll get to your questions in a little bit. Let me finish explaining, okay? Remember your questions. So you'd write my name in here for now, Mr. Motsky. If you don't know how to spell my name, it's written over there. Mr. Motsky's top 5. No, you should write Mr. Motsky. This is an official document. Then you write the amount. We're going to write this out for $10. Remember, this is a fake check. But write it out for $10. The reason for this check? Practice. So write practice. This is a practice check. And the signature has to be first and last name in cursive. Okay? Now, remember your questions. And we're going to go on to recording this transaction. So you have to remember to do this so you can keep track of how much money you have. So let's go back to our example. This is our first check, so we're going to write check number 1. The date, we're going to write as 9/9 again. So we're going to pretend that you got a class deposit, but then later that day, you forgot your planner at home, and so at the end of the day, you had to write me a check for $10. That's a missing planner fee, $10. That's what we're going to pretend. Okay? Wait with your questions. Thank you. Now, transaction. This is, the reason is missing planner. Right? That's why you're being charged this. Missing planner. And this is this a withdrawal or a deposit? This is a withdrawal. How much? $10. So that goes in the withdrawal column, $10. The big spaces for the dollars, the small spaces for the cents. We don't have any cents in our money system. We just go by the whole dollars. Okay? Just wait. Then, is this a plus or a minus from the balance? Minus. So you'd write under the 50, minus 10, draw your line and write your balance amount. Notice that the last number in your balance column is always the amount you have. So when you're looking at this column, it's a list of the transactions, and the last number is always the amount you have in your account, if you've done your math correctly. Okay? So, those are examples of how to record a deposit, how to write a check and record that in your register, how to read a balance statement, what the words mean. So you can look back at this video whenever you're, once you get your register, for those of you that don't have it. You can watch this to fill in those examples, or if you forget what to do, then you can refer to this video, okay?